way you're pivoting is literally like the answer of the future, and it's the Netflix, if you will, versus the Blockbuster. I am so honored and delighted to introduce our stars today. We have the Downs Group, owned by both Erin Downs and Russ Downs, and it is just my honor to call you colleagues and dear family friends. And you know, when I think of overachievers in real estate, I truly do think of you too. So just to go into, of course, right? And iron sharpens iron. So we're all in a great environment. And when I think of all of your strengths and your professional background, I would just like to shed a light on the fact that both of you in your own right were absolutely stunners and producers and really excelled in fashion specifically. Erin, you more so in the footwear, right? And luxury shoe market. And then Russ, in terms of all clothing and fashion, you thrived and were an empire builder in fashion too, right? For Jay-Z and Rocawear and
definitely played a role in pretty much all of the development around the country as far as all the shops and merchandising and all of that stuff. So it was a good time there. I learned a lot there for sure.
Yeah, great lessons and so many transferable skills, right? Because I always say no one came out of the womb with a listing.
Right, that's fact.
I mean, I checked it. Yep, no listing. And so the reality is, you know, we were all new at some point. And to my recollection, you've been in the business for less than 5 years.
We're on our 5th year now.
Yeah.
On your 5th year right now.
Yes.
Historically, so transitioning into real estate, right? You either own, albeit a high-paying, well-earned job, right? Or you own your business. And to your credit, you jumped into owning a business in real estate. Would I be right by guessing that?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So I said, jump in, the water is fine. Right? I feel like I was kind of so elated when you did get into the industry, and in terms of what you've been able to accomplish in such a succinct amount of time, I just want to shed a light on the fact that you've been upper echelon, platinum production, just have had the honor of helping so many homeowners, buyers, landlords, tenants. And so if we could just open up and just honor the fact that you don't have to be in real estate for 10 million years in order to achieve great things and organically, energetically, purposefully build a big business worth owning. So official welcome to Overachiever Central. Dana Cadena, Russ and Erin Downs here in the Overachiever Show. So I am so curious, you know, who thought that we would be grappling with, as business owners, the same health challenge, right, in the form of a worldwide pandemic on the same day, same month, right? And so it's certainly affecting a lot. You know, we have a responsibility to stay healthy. We have a responsibility to protect our families and, of course, our clients moving forward. And just delicately setting that aside, tell us, what have you been doing work-wise since, I want to say, Friday the 13th of March 2020, work-wise? Just give us a glimmer into post-COVID-19, if you will, activities, schedule, if you could give us a glimmer.
Well, I mean, prior to basically the 13th, 14th of this month, I mean, we were out every single day on appointments and working with our clients. And now everything is switched over to virtual for the most part. You know, we're still actually really busy, thankfully. So, but everything's just changed. Business has changed, you know, I mean, everything's gone virtual, you know, a lot of phone calls, a lot of Zoom calls now. We've done listing presentations, buyer presentations over this. So that, I mean, we actually did this before. We've actually Russ has done most of his buyer agency agreements that way. So we're not new to this, but it's just every day. It's not like once a week or, you know, it's like every single day. So
it's like Zoom Central.
Zoom Central, go-to meetings, Ring Central. It's like all of those. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But I mean, our schedule, I mean, as far in terms of our schedule, we're staying on track. I mean, we don't really want to interrupt our normal schedule because we know that habits are hard to break, bad habits. So we're trying to stay on our schedule as much as we possibly can so that when this does end, and it will end, we are not far off track as far as, you know, what we were doing every day.
Absolutely. There's definitely a momentum that you don't want to lose, and you don't want to slip into bad habits, because we form those habits and then the habits form us. You know, I've heard of the quarantine 15. I'd rather not.
Right.
Right. So in terms of your habits, are you starting your day a little later than most, asking for a friend?
Okay, so the answer to that is actually yes. I'm not going, I mean, up until this past week, the answer was no, but we started realizing how long the days are, because there's nothing to break it up, really. I mean, you're just home, and maybe you go out for a walk or walk the dog, but so yes, I am not getting up at 4:45, 5 this past week at all. I'm teetering in that 5:30, 5:45 range now, but I'm still doing what I was doing, going to the gym in the morning. I'm still role playing 4 days a week. One of my role play partners just recently had to cancel because she's got kids at home, and it's just, she's homeschooling. So that's, you know, I think we've stuck to our morning schedule, but the days are long. They're very long. So
I'm getting up at like 6:30 now, which feels good.
What a luxury.
I know, it's like late. That's late for us. So 6:30 is good. I get up, have coffee, then I usually go to the gym, and at least 5 to 6 days a week. And then I start my day. I work for a few hours, and I'm really taking advantage of this time to really to not only work on systems and all that stuff that everyone's going to say on every call and tell you all that good stuff, but you also have to take time to take a break, reconnect with yourself, work on a hobby, just break up your day a little bit. You know, I'm a creative, so I need creative space, and I have a lot of time to do stuff now. So I'm really enjoying being creative and having the time and the luxury to do it, but I'm not compromising our business. I'm making the calls, I'm doing all the stuff we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like professional medicine, right? Just focusing on how to support your clients. So how are you supporting your clients in terms of your buyers and sellers? Erin, your focus are sellers, and Russ, your focus are buyers. What are they saying? What are their concerns? You know, what are they saying? And better yet, how are you addressing what they're saying?
Well, I mean, as far as working with sellers, I think the biggest concern for them is having people in their home right now. Or if it's an investment property that they may want to sell, they're tenant occupied, and the tenants don't want anybody in the house. So it really comes down to, and I'm having this conversation with, and I'm getting a lot of phone calls from, you know, sellers that I've talked to in the past that weren't ready, and they're like, I really do want to sell, but I've got tenants in my property and they won't allow anybody in. So, and I get that. I mean, this is nothing that you can overcome. It's just, we've got to ride this wave. So really it's finding out, do they have to sell? Do they want to sell? Or can they wait? Finding motivated sellers versus trying to push something that can't happen, you know, if they're tenant occupied. We actually took 2 listings this week. One of our investors, basically the conversation is, you know, are you interested in taking advantage of the market while it's still good, because prices are still high and interest rates are low, and there are serious buyers out there in the market right now. we just got 3 offers this week on 3 of our listings. So there are people out there buying and selling real estate. It's just, what is the level of their motivation to do it, right?
Absolutely. So you're finding the motivated, you're really qualifying them
100%.
in terms of their motivation, right? And then really just empowering them to say, hey, we're doing this safely, responsibly, digitally. And
yeah, we created a protocol sheet how to, for sellers and buyers. And we also created a showing instruction sheet. So basically what we do is we send that out to the sellers that are owner occupying, and we're not allowing certain things. Like, for one thing is everyone has to have a new pre-approval that has to be emailed to me, so that we make sure that that buyer that wants to go set the appointment is actually qualified. Because there's no sense in running out with an unqualified buyer and putting everybody at risk. So we've actually sent this sheet out. We just, like I said, we took 2 listings this week. One is vacant, the other is owner occupied, and we put every precaution, everything in place for the sellers and the buyers. We've bought gloves, we've bought shoe booties, masks, and we will be providing that for everybody. And also limiting how many people can go into the property is important.
Yep.
So
absolutely. So you're doing all the right things. You're keeping them safe, Russ.
absolutely.
And on the buy side, we've been actually doing virtual buyer consultations for years, like the last few years. Like, we've closed a lot of deals where we actually never even met the buyer, like even through closing. Like, so we've been doing that for a while, and they're all buyer agency agreements. They're all pre-approved, obviously. We just take them through our funnel, our system. So if you're a first-time buyer or you've bought before, we take you through the same system. So this doesn't really affect how we do that business, because all the calls that come in, I take them through the same, it's like wash, rinse, and repeat, right? So I take them through that same system. I'm not actually showing property right now. I'm actually leveraging showing assistants, showing agents that want to be active and want to, make some money and get some things done for us. So we're paying them, or we're giving them a percentage of the deal. It depends on the relationship and their experience. So that hasn't changed. The conversation with the buyers have changed a little bit, just because a lot of them have this mentality that the market's going to totally crash, and if the house is 500,000, you think the seller will take 300. Like, it's not that bad, So they're going to wait on the sidelines with that mentality for a while other buyers are going to be able to get the pick of the litter. Investors, they're ready. 2 months ago, everybody's life was rocking and rolling, planning vacations, shopping, spending money they didn't have, buying everything. Exactly. And so now these investors are like, I'm talking to them because they're part of our PC. We talk to them on a weekly basis. And they're like, hey, Russ, just keep sending me things. Let's keep our eye on the market. Put me on auto. Just keep me informed on what's going on. So people are ready to buy, and people are buying. We had a buyer go into contract about a week and a half ago. And they're not scared. Like, people are buying. It's just the way we're doing business is changing, not business.
Absolutely. It's just like Gary Keller told us the other day on a live call. It's business as usual in an unusual way.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So congratulations. Speaking of investors, you two are avid investors in real estate and really passionate about long-term wealth building in real estate. So I just want to say congratulations to you. You recently both purchased an outstanding property in Jersey City, New Jersey, Hudson County. So hats off to both of you for that.
We closed on March 10th.
Escapade, because I feel like it was a Tuesday in March, pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was. So we actually closed on that house, and then we went to go to celebrate and have a drink at I think Liberty State Park, one of the restaurants there.
I remember you posted about that, and there was a glass of Prosecco and the New York City skyline in the backdrop.
And then
take me there.
With a bottle of Purell in there,
right?
And we were practicing safety. So yeah, we just after we closed on that, we were supposed to start our project, but obviously with the city being limited right now, we can't even get started on construction or anything like that just right now. So we're waiting to submit those plans, and hopefully they'll approve our project to go. But yeah, we are very interested in investing. I'm a firm believer in, like, you can get really, really rich selling homes, one home here, two homes there, but to really develop like that generational transformational wealth, you have to own land, you have to own properties, whether it's commercial, residential. And so that's something that we're going to focus on building and leave to our nieces and nephews so that they have some kind of stepping stone and can build legacy and nurture that. So
if I call you Auntie Erin and Uncle Russ, is that on the table? Later.
Absolutely.
Later.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and I think that's so, I love how you are so passionate, both of you, about your legacies and, you know, your nieces and nephews. I mean, they're going to have a conveyor belt to go so much further, so much faster, right?
Yeah. That's the goal. They'll have these conversations at 16 that we're having right now. Yeah. You know, that's
be leading
that's
the pack.
Yeah, that's it. So
that's amazing. And then let's talk about your 501c3 through Next Chance Rescue.
Yeah, so we launched Next Chance Rescue. It's an animal rescue. We're based here in Jersey City, foster-based only. We don't have a facility or anything. So basically how we rescue is always through, you know, people volunteering their homes, opening up their hearts and homes to them. This time has really allowed me and my co-founder, Carrie, time to really get our systems up and running. We probably would have taken 3 more months to get everything. So we've actually been building a team. We actually have a web designer right now. Our website is in process. We've got all of our systems in place, medical bills uploaded into systems. We've got a marketing person now. We've found fosters. I think we've saved, in the last couple of weeks, we've saved like 4 or 5 animals. We're pulling, I've been able to contact all the shelters right now and apply to get approved as a rescue for them, so that if we want to pull a dog into our rescue, we can from the shelters. We're pulling one tomorrow. We're saving a dog tomorrow out of Long Island's shelter, and I'm really excited about that. His name is Roberto.
Fancy name for
him. I know. He's a handsome boy. So he's a big dog, 70 pounds, but he's going into foster tomorrow. So it's been awesome. And so I love animals.
Yeah. And it's so funny. I'm 70 pounds. That dog weighs more than my 8-year-old. Anyway, fascinating. So it's amazing what a little bit more time, right, in our worlds in the last month gives you the opportunity to kind of breathe and focus on what we really value.
Yeah.
Right? It's no distractions. It's no, coffee shop, restaurant, waiting in line. We're here.
Yeah.
We're home. We're happy. So in terms of what's next, I know both of you are really focused on making certain that your residual income really funds a big, beautiful life, right? And so it's funny how you say you're building a team for Next Chance Rescue, and you also have your professional world, and you succeed so well through others. What else do you see in terms of your future? I think it includes an amazing place called Tulum.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know us, we absolutely love Tulum.
Yeah.
So I think obviously the next, property that we would love to buy would be an investment property in Mexico, one that we can, go and visit and maybe spend a month out of the year, and then Airbnb it the rest of the time, rent it out. So that would definitely be the goal. In terms of what's next, we love real estate. So this is our life. We love it. We love helping sellers and buyers and talking to people and being around people, and we're just going to keep doing this, investing and
developing
and saving more animals.
Next, right?
Yeah, developing definitely is a goal. My sister is involved in investing. My brother-in-law is also a flipper, does some development. So we're going to put this team together for the family and literally, like when I say legacy, it's not a joke. It's not like a cool word to say. It's actually really important to us that our nieces and nephews, the generation that's coming behind us, has this platform. I don't know how big it's going to be. We have big, lofty goals, right? But if we could just hit a percentage of that, they'll be straight. So, but we just need them to have something that's there for them, a platform for them to stand on and to continue to nurture and water it and help it grow so that they can live the life, a big, abundant life also. And it's not about money. It's about being in a position of having abundance, to be able to be good human beings, to give, and to continue to rescue. Like all the things that we're setting up is really just to change the world as much as we can and change people's lives. So.
Isn't that amazing? And that's really what's fulfilling, right? I know a lot of high net worth people who cry themselves to sleep at night. Multi-millionaires, though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Cry city, okay? So it's really significant. It's not the money itself, right? If I just went on my bank app and wired you 250 grand right now in cash, yet you couldn't do anything with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
right.
Never the actual paper money. It's really what we do with it. And I see, you've helped a lot of people, a lot of animals who can never pay you back.
Yeah.
And that's really a fulfilling thing. So I don't want to be greedy. I want to open it up to the atmosphere. So in the group chat, or if you want to unmute yourself to ask a question, I want to invite the room to go ahead and do that. We have some stunners in the real estate industry in East Monmouth, and also a stunner producer in the title business as well. I'm just looking at our friends here. It's stunning. And so I just want to open it up because, like we say, iron sharpens iron. And also to that effect, how has coaching and just being able to have an accountability driven sounding board, how has that equipped you or helped you in any way? Just speak to kind of coaching, how it's impacted you guys.
Wow. It's been, I should have Erin start, because if it wasn't for her getting into coaching in the beginning, I wouldn't even know anything about coaching.
Honestly, it's the best thing that ever happened. I'm so grateful to a good friend of ours, David Bartz, for when I first got my license, for making the suggestion that I get into coaching. And I got into coaching, and then we have never stopped. So, I mean, that's...
So from day one, you were coached in real estate, is that right?
Day one. Yeah. Yep. I literally got in, and it was the best thing. It changed everything. I mean, that's how we're able to do the volume that we do and the business that we do, because we're surrounded by people, and their minds are so far, that we surround ourselves. We have a mastermind of 40 people that we belong to, and to lean on any of those people and share strategies all the time. I mean, it's awesome. So
yeah, and I feel like our coach, Kevin, he's not just a coach, he's like a really good person. Like, he really actually cares. He's not just there to take money like a lot of coaches do. He actually cares. He came to our renewal in Tulum. Like, he's part of our life. And he doesn't just talk about real estate. He talks about financial freedom, which is even bigger. And also bigger than that, just like living a really good life and enjoying yourself. Yeah. He talks about having fun and faith and all those different domains in your life, and really making sure that all of those domains are like getting closer to that 10, you know what I mean? So he's just been invaluable in our life, and having our circle, not just coaching, even our circle of friends, they're all positive, they're all motivated, they're all driven. And if you're not hanging around people like that, then you can maybe wonder why things are maybe not going so well in your life, So you got to really look at your circle, not just in your business life, but in your personal life.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things you two do really well, is insulating your tribe.
Yep.
Right? Really auditing your circle and just making certain that your environment of your friends are supporting where you want to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're masterful at that.
We're very lucky. We have some amazing human beings in our life.
You can try to insulate as many people as you want, but if they don't want to be around you, that's the problem. So we got really lucky with our friendships, and everyone's just on the same page. And it just makes sense.
Yeah. So what are you listening to? What are you reading? You know, it's been stated regarding the quarantine 15 that just like you are what you eat, you are what you think.
Yep.
And so part of our circle in terms of really being inside our homes right now are the podcasts we're listening to, and, you know, the books that we're reading, and even the articles, and frankly, what we're not looking at. You know, if you're bathing in the news every single morning, good luck with that, right? So
Right.
what do you put in your mental ecosystem right now?
Right now, we're engaging in a lot of Zoom calls with some big top producers. I mean, you know,
Like one Dana, somebody named
yeah,
Dana.
someone named Dana invited us to a couple of, you know, ones that she did with, like, you know, listening to someone like Ben Kenny and
Yeah, he's awesome.
Gene Rivers. And, you know, we've been on with other people, and it's just, that's probably what we're doing the most. I mean, of course, I'm reading Shift book, the Gary Keller Shift book again. But we're really just listening in on Zoom. I know. We're really listening and engaging on a lot of Zoom calls with big top producers.
And I just started listening to 48 Laws of Power. I don't know if you've ever checked that out, but it's just, I started listening to it because I heard that like a lot of like millionaires and billionaires are really read this and listen to this because it just teaches you how to respond. It's really based on response and how to move in society, how to move when people come to you negative, how to respond to it. Like when you're doing business, just listen versus talk. Like it's so cool. And I believe the rapper Drake is actually he's been commissioned to create a series based on the 48 Laws of Power. So it's a really cool concept. I'm just like loving listening to that. So, and I'm listening to a lot of podcasts right now. So
yeah.
And so 48, say it again.
48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power, and it's a podcast and a book?
No, it's a book. But I'm just listening to it. I actually did the audio version.
Audible?
Yeah, Audible.
Sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, Audible.
That's outstanding. So what, in terms of what's next for you guys, I know your platforms in terms of your creative marketing, your YouTube presence, your Where You Trippin', which I think that today's show needs to go ahead and pick up immediately, just saying.
I wish.
Tell us about, because you tell your story, right? You articulate the story, and it's so meaningful and it's so relatable. So, you know, how did that happen? What's going on with that? I mean, Russ, you were on HGTV. I think you're the most patient buyer's agent on the planet. I needed a bottle of Prosecco after that for you. No shade. Those were great people.
100%.
Awesome. And as a real estate professional, you're amazing and patient, like Joe.
He is the most patient.
So just tell us, like, what's your YouTube? Tell us the handle, what's on there.
So the Trippin' at Home thing started with our marketing assistant. She came up with this idea to have us do something like we're traveling. So she gave us the concept, and then we just kind of ran with it and came up with those concepts and ideas. And we're just having fun with it. We just shot something that we're going to be releasing soon just to have fun. We just released season 2, episode 2 of Dreams in Progress. It's interestingly called High Risk, High Reward. And I can't wait for everyone to see that. It's actually going out on our newsletter today.
Nice.
And we
Thursday,
also,
so your newsletter happens
Every
Thursday.
industry.
Every Thursday we send that
Can
newsletter.
never be duplicated.
So yeah, we're just really trying to operate as a media company versus real estate agents. We think the opposite way. We're a media company that services real estate. We're a media company that has a rescue. So, you know, and the development company. So that's the thing that we're really focused on, like building our, from a creative perspective. I think that if people aren't shooting video right now, if people aren't setting themselves up to be a media company, they're going to definitely fall behind, because obviously look what we're doing now. Everything's going virtual. Everything's going to be digital, virtual, and 3D. You know, it's just going to get crazy. And if you're not doing it now, you're going to fall behind. I highly recommend right now, while we have some downtime, call a production guy, look for some local people that have that are videographers that can help you and hire them. Right now, believe me, everyone needs work, right? So you can really get a good deal and really get a good feel of this person and maybe develop a good long-term relationship. We have our guys and we're excited about that. We're going to start a podcast soon called Dreams in Progress Podcast. So we're super excited about everything. Like we love what we do and we're excited to get started.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so it's Dreams in
Dana.
Progress. Go ahead, Vanessa. You have a question?
Question, or I guess maybe question and comment. So of course I love Erin and Russ. They are, I'm extremely grateful to even know them, but they are extremely inspiring in our world of real estate, right? I met them through social media first, and that's kind of how I meet a lot of people, because I get inspired first and then I want to work with them, right? That's kind of how I work with everyone. But my question is to you guys, like, where did that start? And why do you continue that as your path, as, you know, being creative, being positive, and why is that the way you're going?
It's just who we are. Like, I don't know, we're just kind of wired this way. Like, I feel like
he's the creative. I mean, all of the creative comes from him. I actually got a compliment from him the other day because I had a really good idea. He's like,
oh, she's been crushing it.
Because like I've been on with Next Chance Rescue on like the web page, and I don't even understand any of how to develop a web page. And I'm like, well, what if we do this and what if we do that? And he's like, okay,
I was in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen getting something to eat, and I heard her like running that, making good comments, and I'm like, look at her, like she's really like picking up on this creative thing. And no, it's just important to us, and I think that's the only way to move our business forward too. Is you always have to have someone that's creative in your business. Any big major company and brand, I don't care who they are. They have creatives, they have sales, they have marketing. They got to have that. And so thank God we're just opposites in our own way. So like she's a beast in sales, you know what I mean? I can sell, but I also love to do marketing. Like it just works for our team, and I'm so glad we have that dynamic, because if we were just both good at sales, our marketing would probably be a mess.
Yeah, no, it's amazing the way things are going. The way I see things is that you have to be a brand, and you guys did that a long time ago. You started this whole thing with Dreams in Progress and things. Like, I already knew what you guys were doing, and I was like, wow. But after all this is said and done, and you're right, and I 100% agree with you, like, if you don't start creating your own brand as well, you're going to get, you know, lost, and you're going to get left in the dust. And anyway, just appreciate you guys, because I'm constantly getting inspired. That's why I was like, oh my God, I have to jump on. I got to, you know, for saying, because I get inspired by you, and I do something completely different. But, you know, my ideas and things that I get from you guys, you know, is appreciated. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you so much. And shout out to Showcase Sunday.
Yes,
Showcase
Sundays.
It's awesome.
I'm a fan too. Showcase Sunday. Thank you so much, Vanessa. And it's such a great point that all three of you actually are making, in terms of, you know, Blockbuster did not go out of business because people stopped watching movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Blockbuster went out of business for a myriad of reasons, yet I feel like the top two are they didn't pivot to that thing called the World Wide Web, and they had insanely obsessive late fees.
Yeah. Yes.
So people didn't stop watching movies, because today, in the year 2020, Netflix tells me what I would like to watch.
Right.
So I think pivoting the way you're doing it so masterfully, it's so attractive. It's a literal magnet. The way you're pivoting is literally like the answer of the future, and it's the Netflix, if you will, versus the Blockbuster.
Right. Yeah. I think that's where the market was last year. Like 3 months ago, the market was Blockbuster. What's going to happen after this market is going to be Netflix. And you're going to have to be able to like jump into that mix and that grind. And if you're not, it's going to be tough for you. It's going to be really tough.
It's so true. It's so true. So I have a couple of people on here that are just expressing gratitude and so grateful for pouring into us. And, you know, as far as just like a couple of thoughts to just put a bow on things, Maddie, if you have a question, go ahead, type it in or unmute yourself. I feel like we're certainly products of our professional environment, and it's our responsibility, of course, in this environment to remain healthy and make sure our families are safe. It's also our responsibility to make certain that this time doesn't evaporate,
Right.
and just literally evaporate without doing something that's going to propel us forward, right? Because we have a responsibility to create generational wealth. And like you said, you can get rich selling selling widgets or cars or real estate. And yet when you talk about living on the right side of the cash flow quadrant, thanks Rob Kiyosaki, right? Then literally your money is working for you, you're getting that back in a return, and it's just tremendous to in order to give it away.
Yeah.
Right. So our professional environment encourages us to go ahead and give away $1 million a year. So in order to give away $83,333 a year, you know, a month, right? 83 grand a month to give that away. What are you earning, and how many people are you helping by earning that kind of volume and abundance? I mean, let's go there, right? Take us there. And so I am so excited to watch your podcast or hear your podcast come out.
Do both.
Go ahead.
You'll be able to do both.
You're doing both. Yeah.
Watch and hear. So.
Well, watch, right? Would be Dreams in Progress, and then so absolutely listen to the podcast. And I feel like you guys are authors, just like hiding in the closet somewhere, like that closet back there. I feel like, I mean, it's so readable, it's so watchable, so that means it's readable, right?
It's coming.
So, I am just so enamored, as many of us are, and we are just so grateful to have you in our lives and in our ecosystem. And I feel like the world should know your gifts. So I just want to thank you very specifically, Erin and Russ.
Thank you. Well, I have one last thing that I can say, if I could say. We appreciate you so much, because you changed our lives by bringing us over to KW. And
definitely.
We'll pretty much go wherever you're going to go. So we love you and appreciate you. You've given us so many nuggets and so many, like, you're our coach. You've been just free.
I'm your godmother.
Yes. But like, you've been so invaluable in our life, and
amazing.
And thank you.
And your husband Gerald and your family, we love you guys, and thank you for continuously supporting us, everything that we do. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing to hear. Thanks a million. See you soon.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Virtual hugs. Virtual hugs, everyone.
Right? Have a blessed day. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Bye, guys.